They kicked me off of Section 8, and I was just about homeless.
My girls bought their first car, convertible BMW, at just 15. If you're ready to get your YouTube together and take it to the next level, email mommacuTEE.
Baby, don't check for me. Hey, mommacuTEE bosses. What's up? Yeah, boss up. Hey guys, welcome back. Boss up babies. How y'all doing today? Have y'all got done what y'all need to get done? If you have not gotten done what you need to get done, you need to boss up and get it done, baby. Don't procrastinate. Do it now. Do it today after you get finished watching this video, okay? So make sure y'all take care of what y'all got to take care of, because you know we the boss up babies around here. We boss up and we get it done because that's what we do. That's how we do it. You know that. Okay, guys. Today is going to be a story time. A story time on how mommacuTEE got kicked off of Section 8. I feel like I've never shared that story with anyone, so this is a perfect opportunity to just share with you guys. So before I tell you how I got kicked off of Section 8, let me go back in case you didn't see my previous videos on how I ended up getting on Section 8. Okay, so you have to understand, back some years ago, I was, of course, sent off to college like every other kid gets sent off to college by, I was raised by my grandmother, so my grandmother sends me off to college. So I end up in this strange town I wasn't even familiar with, and you know, when you're in a strange town, I wasn't really sheltered as a kid because my grandmother really let me do pretty much whatever I wanted to do as long as it was safe and making good decisions. She was okay with that. But when you like in a different city and you don't have no chaperones and you don't have nothing, you know, you kind of do different things that you probably wouldn't do if you was in a more structured environment. So guys, I was in college, I was having fun, my first year of college, and coming up to my second year of college, I met somebody. I met somebody who caught my eye. He was really, really handsome. My current husband now, well, my only husband that I've had. He was really, really handsome. And he caught my eye, and we ended up started dating. And what happened was, you know, I was always taught, you know, make sure that you try not to have sex before marriage because things can happen. And so, of course, I didn't listen. And you know, when you don't be listening to your parents and your grandparents, stuff just catch up with you. And so it caught up with me. And I ended up getting pregnant. It was like my sophomore year of college, and I was devastated. I was so devastated I was pregnant, but I don't regret having my oldest son. He's my oldest son, but I was so devastated because, guys, you don't know, I was over 1,000 miles from home. I had went to college in a whole nother state. I had no family, no nothing in that city that I went to college. And so I just felt alone because, you know, I'm gonna teach y'all something. When you mess around with these guys and stuff in college and high school, you know, I know if y'all can relate, but half of them don't even be stunning you. They don't even be stunning you. So when I just say I felt like I was abandoned, I was pretty much pregnant and abandoned all by myself. So, but like I said, it's with my husband now. Later on, we made up later on. But at that time, everything just fell apart when I got pregnant. And so I was pretty much on campus pregnant, and the school year was almost about over, and I was just about homeless. And no way did I want to go home and tell my grandmother that I was pregnant. And that would have been such a big disappointment. So I just did not know what to do. And so I had met this girl in a breastfeeding class. I had planned on breastfeeding my son after I had him. So I met my friend in a breastfeeding class, and she's still my friend to this day. She was such a blessing to me, and I didn't know anything about that area, and I just started striking up a conversation with her about breastfeeding because she was pregnant too, and she was gonna get ready to breastfeed. And so we became friends, and I was telling her that I was over in the area going to college. I ended up getting pregnant. I really had nowhere to go. I didn't want to tell my grandma I was pregnant. And I didn't want to go back home because, you know, it's like when you go off to college and you try to go back home pregnant, that's embarrassing. So that's one thing I definitely did not want to do. So me and my friend, she taught me a lot. She taught me about Section 8. She taught me about food stamps because, you know, growing up, my grandmother, I didn't have Section 8. I didn't have food stamps with her. But she was like, girl, don't worry. Don't worry if you have to. She stayed in the projects at the time. My friend stayed in the projects. And she said, girl, don't worry. When campus is over and you have to come stay with me in the projects, you can. But I'm going to tell you, you need to go down and get your application at the Housing Authority and fill out for Section 8. And I'm just like, what is Section 8? And she said, girl, Section 8 helps you get your a place. It actually provides a place for you to stay, and you don't really have to pay that much money. Man, y'all just thought that I was so happy to hear that, and I was so happy to meet a friend that actually told me stuff, and I didn't know nothing. I didn't know nothing. I was so young, I didn't know jack. And so I went down there. I actually called. I didn't go down there. I called and I told them my situation, that I was pregnant. I was getting ready to have my kid. I didn't have no place to go. And, you know, I was just devastated. And I was there in a strange city in college, and I didn't know anybody. And then the lady on the other end said, well, ma'am, I'm sorry. Right now, we're not taking applications. And then she suggested other places for me to go. And I was like, oh, okay. And then she asked me, she said, what is your address? I gave her my address, and don't you guys know, about a week or so later, I got an application in the mail for Section 8. I was so happy. I ended up having my son and had a place for us to stay. I think my rent was probably, at that time, it could have been like, the regular rent was probably like maybe $800 or $900 where I lived at the time. And I probably paid maybe $200 because I really didn't have a real job because I was in college. I did work study, so they checked my little work study income and all that kind of stuff to see if I had anything else. But my rent, I think I paid was about $200. So it was great. You know, the only annoying thing is when you're on Section 8, you know, you always got to follow up with how much you make. If you get a little increase, you got to turn that in. If you get child support, you got to turn that in. It's just so much protocol and so much paperwork. You know, sometimes it did get to be a little headache. And then also, you know, sometimes the landlords, they be acting funny when you have kids and stuff. My landlord was okay that I had a son. I just had my oldest son at the time. But I ended up being on Section 8 for a while until I finished college. And so it was great. I was able to pay my bills. I was able to live in a nice place with my son and not have to worry about, you know, going back home and facing everybody with the pregnant. Okay guys, the battery died, so I don't even remember where I was. But anyways, I was happy to be on Section 8, and I was on Section 8 for years. When I say years, throughout college, and my whole entire college life, I was on Section 8. Nothing I was ashamed of. I was happy all my rent was getting paid for. I didn't have to worry about, well, all of it wasn't getting paid for, but a lot of it was getting paid for. So I was happy. I wasn't ashamed to be on Section 8. So it helped me. It was a stepping stone for me. So after I graduated from college, I ended up getting a job. And, you know, I just thought that I was just going to be on Section 8 even when I graduated from college. You know, I was young. I didn't know. So I just thought that I was just going to still be on it because I didn't think I was going to be making that much money that, you know, I would be kicked off. I never did know the cutoff date that you for Section 8. I never did inquire about that. I was just happy that I was on it. So when I graduated from college, I got my first job. And so then I turned my pay stubs into them, and they said, ma'am, she started calculating my pay stubs and stuff. She's like, ma'am, we got to do some adjustments here. I don't think you qualify for Section 8 anymore. And so, y'all, I wasn't really devastated because God did bless me to finish college and to get a good job. But man, it's just like, I had a kid, and it's like, I didn't feel like I made that much money, but it's like they feel like I did, and they kicked me off. They kicked me off of Section 8. And I was just like, man, I got my letter in the mail, and they told me no longer did I qualify for Section 8. So it was just like, you know what I'm saying? It was a point in my life that I was like, dang, you know, I didn't think that I made enough money to pay all my bills, but you know, I had to make things work because I couldn't get on Section 8 anymore. So, you know, some of the things I used to do when I was on Section 8, and I'm not trying to say I abused the system, but I was able to, you know, make things work out because I had help with my rent. And so I couldn't do all those things anymore. I ended up moving once I graduated to a whole nother state, not even my hometown. I moved even further away from my hometown. And then I got the real deal of how it was paying rent without Section 8. With just my regular corporate job, I was able to pay my rent, pay my bills, and take care of my son. And you know, that's pretty much my story. I just wanted to share that with y'all, that you know, just don't feel that if you are on Section 8, don't feel that it's just a place where you feel like you're gonna stay. Because if you put plans in place for you to improve your life, it will happen. It might not happen overnight, but if you put plans in place to improve your life, you can do it. And I do offer a YouTube class, I offer a marketing class, and I offer a business class. In case you guys want to help improve your life, I can help you improve your life. So go ahead and send mommacuTEE a email. I'll have my email down below, and you guys stay in contact. But until then, boss up, baby.